Even Chris Froome had no response to Alberto Contador today. For the last couple of years, he's looked a shadow of himself, but Contador has shone on this Vuelta, and finally he takes the stage victory.
It's about how much time Richard Carapaz can take. What is the gap going to be? He crosses it at 2:34. So Primož Roglic now has got 45 seconds to get there. Primož Roglic saves La Vuelta by around 19-20 seconds.
21%, it really is a hurt zone this. Nibali hits it once again. Now can he? Don't forget, he's just got to find 3 seconds here, 4 if he can. Away and Nibali goes once more in the cloud. Oh, it's almost reminiscent of his job on the Giro d'Italia. Yeah, almost the camera, and has Nibali been taken out here as well?
No,
I don't think there was any contact with anybody. It's just gone pop. Here is Horner. What a performance by this man. As we say, 20 years separating the man who's won the stage and the man who quite possibly has just won the Vuelta. 200 metres. This is going to feel like party time. And the grimace turns into a huge grin. And the clock, watch it when he crosses the line, because this is the crucial timings. He gets the bonus as well, don't forget. There is Chris Horner. Has he just done it for the old guard?
Between Two Wheels podcast, episode 404. Which state? Susa to Voiron, 206.7 kilometers. But we are talking about 128 or so miles, if you need to know that. Once again, Tyler Yonke, like and subscribe. Don't forget to put the notifications on, because you never know when this crazy show is going to be coming at you. But we're on stage 4. We had, look, yesterday we talked about it. We walked through the finishing straight and how Mads Pedersen and his little trek had worked all day and they blew it. And part of the reason that they blew it was they, well, a few things. One, not shutting the door on the final sprint, and probably going a little too hard too soon on some issues when you're a sprinter compared to a climber. It's great for Jonas, and it was great for David Gaudu to have this hard pace, but Little Trek didn't need to be pushing it. They just need to have the control out front, and then they ran off all their lead out guys. They could have shut the door down. Once again, going into that corner, leaning on the right edge, doing a snake out and in, cutting that corner off. Don't let David Gaudu have the inside corner. They did. It blew it. What are we going to do today? Are we going to have a rinse and repeat? This is a stage, we're going to look here, stage 4. Here's the profile. You've got a Cat 3, a Cat 2, a Cat 2, and then almost the entire downhill coming into the finish. You got this bonus intermediate sprint coming close to the finish here at 175 kilometers, 25 or so to go, and then the final sprint. And what's going to happen with that? By the way, stay tuned today. Go sign up on our Rumble page, because at the end, I'm going to go through the highlights, and then I'm going to go just to the Rumble and Twitter page. And there I'm going to do a last 4 kilometers. For the last 5 kilometers, I'm going to do a live feed here, and we're going to play that where we would normally get struck on the channel. Once again, we're still up here in Italy, okay? We're still up here in Italy on this northern part, and then we're going to fly down here later on, or near the weekend, and then going to hit the Pyrenees, the northern part of Spain. That'll be the interesting part. But today, we've got these climbs. They're over there close to the Alps. We're going to be hitting this, and then it should be a sprint. It should be a sprint. Jesper Philipsen's in there. Are we going to see a rinse and repeat of a team being in perfect position and blowing it at the line? Blowing it at the line. It could be legs. It could be lead outs. It could be some little minor things. With Jesper Philipsen, we saw on stage 1, it was everything to perfection, and then he blew the doors off of everybody, and everyone else has to try to get into contention. So, there we have it. Well, early on in the race, we had a breakaway up the road here. Let's see who it was. Louis Verbeek, Belgian. Mario Aparicio, Joel Nicolo, Sean Quinn. We saw him yesterday for EF, and Camille Banu. Okay, they have like 3+ minutes on the peloton, and there you go. They're working together fine. Now, it's Intermarché rider, it's Caja it's a Burgos, it's EF rider, and who else is in here? Sudal Quickstep rider. 91K to go. They finally bring him back Apprecio. I think he's going to get the, oh, well, it's still out there. But we're coming into the intermediate sprint. And for that, you look, all the teams are lined up. You got Little Trek out here. They're actually doing the work for Mads Pedersen. And Philipsen's not even interested. Not even interested, and there you go. There's the result. Well, what are the results here? So first of all, we had some KOMs. We saw those. The Cat 3, Joel Nicolau from Cajaruao. He goes over the top ahead of Louis Vervac and Mario Apprecio. The Cat 2, Vervac then gets first place over there with Joel Nicolau, and then Sean Quinn in third. Then Sean Quinn takes the second, the KOM on the Cat 2. Sean Quinn over Joel Nicolau and Louis Vervac. There you go for Soto Quick Step. Mads Pedersen gets the intermediate sprint over Ethan Vernon, Jake Stewart, Julia Ciccone. He's up there. Missed out on the time bonus. He's in the green jersey today. That was confusing to me. He's wearing the green because he's in second place, but I think Jonas is actually in there. And then David Gaudu gets up there in fifth place. Jonas, so here's what we have today with the stage. Jonas and Gaudu are tied on time. They both won a stage. So then it goes to count back. And on stage 1, Jonas had a better placing than Gaudu. Okay, that's where you got. Now, stage 4, I think it's placings about 8 different. So as long as Gaudu, if he gets 8 places better in the sprint than Jonas, just this sprinting between those two, he's going to go into red. So there's, I honestly believe, just looking at this, thinking about it today, I'm like, they have a team time trial. It's not that big a deal. Just don't stress Jonas out. Maybe let Gaudu get the red jersey. Who cares? Who cares? Then after that, you're going to do what you're going to do, right? As far as your team, you're not going to let up on the team time trial just to have someone else perhaps in the red jersey. So I thought Gaudu was a little more motivated. I think we've seen this before. I think it with Carapaz did this to get the jersey once in one of the big tours. Either way, they go through, and then a rider heads off the front for decathlon. Let's see if I can figure out who this rider is. It's listed in here. Quinn Simmons gets the most combative rider of the day. Okay, well, that's good. Let's see who is up the front here. I'm trying to see, is it like it's not Parapente, Apprecio, Laurent, Fernandez. So maybe it's Fernandez going up there. He's got a bit of a gap. He tries his best. Doesn't really do much. Last 10 kilometers, the road narrows a bit. There's a wreck out the back. Jay Vine goes down. Several other riders go down. George Bennett goes down, takes his helmet off. And I don't know, for Israel Primatek, I don't know if he got back on. We will take a look at that. But none of the other big riders, significant riders, had any real issues. So they're coming into the last, 4 kilometers here. A 3-kilometer rule goes into effect. At that point, Visma Lisa Bike kind of just backs off. They had been up to the front with Jonas. And then you've got Lotto up at the front. You've got Alpecin de Koenig. Little Trek is kind of got Mads in some weird positions and not really sure what's going on with him. There's a lot of curbs. There's a lot of twisty turny stuff coming in here, and sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't. A rider here going around the inside the last kilometer, a rider actually pulls his foot out of the pedal, almost knocks everybody off. They come around these corners, and Israel Primatek is in prime position with Postal Pick NL, a Q35, 36.5. You've got Ineos riders. The Kwiatkowski brought Ben Turner up to the front in a nice position. But really, you're having Rickard and Plankert leading out Philipsen to somewhat of an ideal position. Now, I will say, they're going into one of these roundabouts. Mads Pedersen was about 3rd position. He was looking really good. They go around another corner. It might be this one here. Nope. He's still in good position there, but he loses. He goes from about 3rd position to about 6th. It has to do a little bit. So you can see him in the back over here on the far left. The Philipsen train is going over on our right. Jake Stewart's over there. Philipsen's looking good. And Mads Pedersen has to go all the way on the barriers on the right-hand side, trying to get around, trying to get into some sort of better position. Some of the camera work isn't quite great. There's a little bit of a bumpy uphill. There's a little bit of pops up and down the road surface. And they're coming up here. You can see the hill. That's just a little bit of an uphill. I believe this is Plankert. it might be Rickard. Yeah, we're leading out Philipsen. It's looking good. Philipsen, everything is looking good here. Ben Turner's coming over here. You've got Q36.5. Jake Stewart, I believe, for, or the Ethan, let's see here if I can actually, Ethan Werner for Israel Premier Tech. He's up there as well. Yeah, Edward Plankert, he's up there pulling out for Jasper. Ethan Werner, like I said, Ben Bermans, Mads Pedersen, Fabio. A lot of these guys are looking good up here in position, but the real person in the pole position is actually our man, Philipsen. Okay, now Brian said, holy crap, I made it. Yeah, well Brian, I'm sorry, but I come and go as to when I want to do this. I'm working from home today, so there you go. By the way, I'm gonna tell you this. When I've got a link here, I've got a Rumble page. If you want to go to Rumble and sign up and join this one, after I'm done here, I'm gonna turn off the YouTube, turn off Facebook, and I'm going to play just live or all in where I would normally get copyright strikes. I'm going to play the last 5 kilometers. We're just going to walk our way through it just for the shits and giggles, see if this is. However, they're coming around here. They hit up to the top here. It's hard to see with some of this. We will see a little bit of the overhead. Planker takes up on the left-hand barrier, and you can see Philipsen's yelling, open, open, open. Planker's coming up on the barrier, but Philipsen is going to his left. At the same time, Ben Turner from Ineos shoots out on the right-hand side. He gaps over Ethan Werner from Vernon from Israel Premier Tech. There's almost a little bit of a wheel collision there. I didn't see that anybody got DQ'd. You can see it right here in the position. And then Ben Turner just holds out all the way to the line and then balls like a girl afterwards, which I don't really understand that. So you can see it right here. So let's take a look at this overhead. Here you go. So this is where you're seeing here, the first rider, that's Plankert. He's looking to his right, starting to veer to his left, but Philipsen had been crossing wheels with him a little bit. His body was just a little bit more angled to be going around him to the left. What Plankert likely should have done was veer off into the right, let Philipsen come around him on the left, and have the wide open gap. You've got everything. That's kind of the most controlled side you can do, right? When you're up there in the lead out and you've got the barriers on your left, if you veer to the right a little bit, your man could shoot right through there, slot right through there. If you go more to the barriers yourself, you don't know what's happening over on the right-hand side. You can't control that as much. You've got the barrier. I just think that's the way he should have been going. And I think that's where Philipsen wanted to go. Then Ben Turner jumps this here. And then he brings in Ethan Vernon kind of into Philipsen. So there's a little bit of a bumping and barging there they have to do. Meanwhile, I just don't think Philipsen has the legs. This is a little bit of an uphill drag. Regardless of what was going on, Vernon almost comes up for third. Plankert holds on for third for the lead out team. And these three gap everyone else, but Ben Turner. I think the legs had it in general. Jasper had an armchair ride to the line. I believe you're right. He look, it looks like he did have an armchair ride to the line. Would Plankert have gotten yellow card if he moved right? He might have, but I think he could have done it before the riders jumped. Okay, so let's go back there just a tad bit. Okay, because you make a good point. Would he have been yellow carded? I mean, he wouldn't have been moving as much as, let's say, so right here, this position right here, he's fine. Matter of fact, there's room on the right-hand side. You can see Ben Turner actually makes the most of the move because he's on the barrier. Ben Turner then makes a wild move over. Now, I don't know if the barriers come in a little bit. It looks like they angled just enough where Plankert had plenty of time. There's no one on his right. He could have moved over just enough. Now, right here, you can see, if you play this a little bit, look at the mouth of Philipsen. He is saying something. He's yelling at him. I don't know if he's yelling for him to open, get right, but he doesn't feel comfortable going around, and that's when Ben Turner sneaks out. Now, Ben Turner comes into Vernon. Vernon gives an elbow. That's a little bit of off-putting. I think Turner is the one that's going wild here. Plankert still trying to hold his line. Plankert's doing fine, and then he realizes, I got to get right to get him around. I think there was, why you say armchair, completely right. I think the way that this finish was, the way that the mountains were, that all, just like yesterday, that wore the legs down for these sprinters where a Ben Turner comes in and takes it. Ben Turner, what has he done? Well, he won a stage of the Tour of Poland earlier this year. And then I was able to take a look here. I'm like, okay, let's take a look at his wins. He's had 3 of them in his career. He had a Vuelta Ciclista a la Region de Merceria Costa Calida in 2023. He won a stage there. And what was that one? That was over Simon Clark, Jordi Mayus, Valentin Madwad, Matteo Trentin, Tim Wellens. So it was a kind of a interesting, let's just take a look at this profile here. That's the stage he won of this one-day race. He won it. It was a HC climb. So this makes sense, right? Ben Turner, he's not the biggest, baddest sprinter on the planet, but he was able to get the win today because I don't think his legs were as mush as Philipsen. Remember, Philipsen broke ribs, crashed out of the Tour, just isn't coming into this as lightning fast. So, a few things. Was it as bad of a mess up as yesterday? Because I think Little Trek messed that one up. One, how they came into the finish, but 2, how Mads Pedersen rode that final corner. Ugh. I mean, Brian, you're a crit rider. How are you taking those corners if it's a close sprint to the finish and you're in the front there, you're taking it on the right, you're maybe coming around and then you're cutting that in. You're not letting the guy dive bomb you. And then if he does dive bomb you, you're making it where he's got to hit the brakes. Mads Pedersen came in there and then he went wide. He started wide and finished wide and allowed Gadu to cut that corner right there. So that's just a simple crit problem that could have been solved for him yesterday. I mean, Philipsen got the Planker getting third. This was not a thing where your lead out man. I just think Philipsen couldn't come around his lead out man. He needed to jumper earlier, and he couldn't do that. The complaint by let's go back here. The complaint by Jonas on the corner yesterday was, oh yes, that was. It's called the block pass. Yeah, that was. I saw that, and I'm like, is he covering for the Danes? Is he just trying to make it? Because that was completely ridiculous. There was no way that there was any problem at all, at least that I saw, for yesterday, for the move. It wasn't dangerous. You know, I have dive bombed many a race in my life, corners, and not always to the best of the safety of everyone around. So there's a breakdown of the complimentary results. Nicolo, actually, Kadri, I think he's in the KOM jersey. Close by Sean Quinn. Sean would have got his act together on the second Cat 2 in the first race. He might have been in the G. Is that what he's going for right now? I don't know. There's plenty of racing to go. Mads Pedersen, like we said, got the green points intermediate sprint. Ben Turner with the win at the finish, gets all the points there. And classification, Ethan Vernon comes out there. Most combative rider, Sean Quinn, 2 days in a row for the most combative rider. Let's take a look here at the results. Ben Turner et al. Same time, almost all the way down. The big thing is who is in the, there you go, David Gadu. He moves into first place by virtue of his finish on today and pops Jonas down. Giulio Ciccone, no changes here. There was a Sepp Kuss moves up 3 places to Juan Ayuso somehow, I guess just by virtue of placings. So well done, Sepp, staying up there in the top in the 9th place. And then you have 8th place for Matteo Jorgensen. Riccatello down here in 19th place, only 16 seconds back. A lot of this is going to, Kevin Vermark, is another American, 35 seconds. And I think Sean Quinn's going to be down here a ways along with Magnus Sheffield. They're not riding for the GC stuff. So there you go today. Any fines? They have a little earlier than I normally do them. I don't see any fines coming into the day as of yet. Okay, so let's take a look here then for tomorrow. That's today's stage. Here's the Triple T. This is just going to be, once again, we've talked about this. Starting over here, it goes down around to the, goes to the right here. Just a big counterclockwise circle but there's enough detailed and changes directions here. 90-degree current corners that it could cause a little bit of trouble, but it's pretty damn flat. It will be interesting. I think the team time trial rules have changed. It used to be the first 4 across the line, and the 4th person was the time. I think it's you can go across, and I think you can split that up a bit for the team, but I think it's the first one across the line now. And then you still need a certain amount of people to keep going on. But it will be an interesting thing. But yeah, I think it's the first person. You don't have to necessarily finish with the first 4 anymore. It's just you want to finish with as many as possible because you go faster. But if your team's sucking and you end up dropping them all, which shouldn't happen in a flat race like this, then it'll be interesting to see tomorrow. Jonas, I expect him back. I expect Visma to do well. Now, David Gaudu with FDJ, they have Stefan Kung. They have some decent riders here. They did lose Guillaume Martin, so that might actually help them somewhat. Who knows? Brian says, Jonas doesn't have to wear the slow red jersey provided by the race. I used to still has white. They're a good point. Yeah, let's take a look here. No, Ethan Vernon is in white, I believe. I think he's in the young jersey now. So let's go back here. Stage 4, youth category is, no, you're right. Ioana Uso is in the lead over Riccatello et al. So yeah, he's got to wear that stupid jersey. The team classification goes to Visma. The KOM goes to Joel Nicolo. The points as now with Mads. So yeah, Jonas, you're absolutely right. Jonas was able to rid himself of any wacky jerseys. He can wear that ugly helmet and do what he needs to do. Let's go. This is an interesting little clip here. Which is best? We'll just do this one here. Watch this one. This is a little Velon clip here, and this is Sepp Kuss starting out here. Watch this move. Here goes. It's pretty ballsy, I think. I mean, this is just riding in the pack. There's nothing real big here. Just sprinting. Okay. Statement here from Derek G. We'll go over this real quick. I don't want to get too big into all this stuff. I confirm that my contract with Israel Primotech has been formally and duly terminated by my legal representatives. This was not an easy decision, but one I made after careful consideration for legitimate reasons. Certain issues simply made my continuation at the team untenable. I want to make it very clear, despite some current reporting, this decision solely concerns the termination of my previous contract with Israel Primotech in accordance with UCI regulations. I have not yet signed with nor spoken to any new teams. I wish a heartfelt sent to the staff and the riders I had privilege of working for with my time. But sincerely, Derek. So it could be two things, or it could be the two combined, which is he was taken off of the Vuelta team list. He was supposed to be riding the Vuelta. He got taken off of that. And maybe he doesn't like the situation over there in Israel. Maybe he was taken off of the team because he had said something about the situation in Israel, Palestine, Israel, Gaza, and all that stuff. I don't know. So if he's taken a legitimate point of view that I can't work for this company, this business because of this tie, I get it. Possibly, you don't see any of that with any of the UAE teams, UAE, Bahrain. They're doing that. Whatever. If you want a national team, it can be the same if you don't like the company that's sponsoring you, right? So, but this is the ills we're in. Now, it is odd, because there's a lot of like big nationalities, countries coming in supporting some of these cycling teams. It's really odd. I not know how I feel about that necessarily. You want cycling to flourish, and there is always this tenable, as you said, untenable, up and down, with funding coming in. Some teams get so much more than others. They do need to figure out some sort of, it's like, I mentioned this before, and actually Jonathan Vaughters shouted me out once about it, which is the cycling world is capitalistic, right? You've got to compete, you've got to have money in there, and this is very, you basically have to have wins to propagate and your sponsors and whatnot. But within cycling, you actually need to be somewhat socialistic, okay? Much like baseball, any of these other, football, right? Revenue sharing. It's because it's like a company with a bunch of different little outlets. You want all those to be successful, and sometimes the big corporation needs to fund money out to these other ones to help them out, and it may take away from one of the other business sections, but it's all the same business. So that business itself needs to flourish. Therefore, you have some of these problems. And I don't know what Derek G's situation is completely, but it does need to be resolved. Okay, so let's take a look. I think I'm going to see if we can kill this off. And we're going to go just over. I'll play a little outro music here for all those of you on YouTube, Facebook. I'm telling you, go over to Rumble. We're going to do just a quick, let me see how long the video is. I'm going to have it up here. 6 minutes. We'll do a 6-minute video of the last 4 whatever kilometers. All right, see you there in a bit. Rumble only coming up.